Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Movie and a Haunt. I'm RJ.
And I'm Paige.
I have so much energy because it's Christmas season, and it's the most wonderful time of the year, isn't it?
He's a Scrooge during this time.
I'm a Grinch. Get it? I'm not a Scrooge. I'm not an old bastard.
Okay, well,
I'm a Grinch.
that's what we're going into today. And we're watching Krampus, 2015's Krampus, they say in the trailer.
I like how it's like they say Krampus, and like throughout the rest of the movie, it's all just Krampus.
Of course it is.
I will remember the trailer sucked. I'll acknowledge that the trailer fucking sucked. I remember when I saw this trailer in theaters though, because I actually did see it in theaters. Everybody in theater also thought, "Wow, that trailer sucked. Like that movie's gonna be awful." And I think it was just because horror was in a state where everyone was still very cynical about shit. So it was like, "Oh yeah, it's probably gonna suck because it's horror, and horror movies suck in this current time period." And then it ended up being mediocre, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's mediocre. That's amazing."
That's more than we could ever hope for.
I mean, it's gonna have good practicals. I remember this movie has great practicals, but like, it's very mediocre.
That's fine. I mean, it's a Christmas horror movie. I'm hoping for the baseline of mediocre. I think that's all we can hit. Because I've never seen it before, so I'm kind of excited to see this. And just to let you guys know, it is the time of the year where Paige is sick again. So I sound congested and disgusting. I do apologize.
Which means, for anyone who doesn't know, we're in for an amazing episode because the best episodes are when she is sick as fuck.
Woo! I can't wait. I hope I live up to it.
Scream 3, iconic. But you were sick during Friday Part 3, and that we don't speak about Friday.
That's
Part
erased
3.
from our memories.
It's the only episode we went over 2 hours for. I don't know how.
Delusion,
I have no
delusion, and fever dreams is what caused that.
that episode was I can't even go back and listen to that episode.
God,
That episode
no.
was a trip.
All right, so we will be back. We're gonna go watch the movie. Here's a quick cut. Here we go.
Whoop. All right, we watched the movie, Paige.
Yes, we did. We just finished.
We finished. I went, I have to pee, and you were like, great, and then we came back.
Yes.
Well, let's start. And we're probably going to go on tangents at points, but it's probably going to be like later in the movie. We start 3 days till Christmas. So December 22nd.
Yeah.
With retail.
Yeah, so it just opens with like slow-mo with Christmas music of people going crazy, going to buy presents and stuff. This is more Black Friday-esque than December 22nd.
I was going to say, if you're still doing this December 22nd, we've both worked retail. I feel like nobody comes in on December 22nd besides like grandparents that are like, I have to get my grandkids something. What the fuck do I buy them?
Yeah, it's definitely more like last-minute shoppers, but this was like a frenzy of people at like a Home Depot / Walmart /
Costco's / BJ's / Sam's Club. Like, I couldn't tell what it was. It was filmed in a Home Depot, though. That was all Home Depot, like.
Yeah, and then
layout.
For whatever reason, they had their nativity play inside the Home Depot / Costco / Walmart.
That is that's so odd in reality.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
And I like how we get introduced to the main characters in like slow motion. Their child's having a fight because their child is a literal child.
Yeah. They probably said some shit or anything. Unless it seems like Max maybe has anger issues, but his fight later on at the dinner table was warranted.
I think it was like 2 fights in a night. You probably need to learn how to control yourself, kid.
Yeah, he needs to go to therapy.
We have in this movie. Let's talk about this cast. This is an odd cast.
Yeah, it's a comedy cast with an actual acting cast, a little bit like sprinkled in there.
And then you have like Toni Collette over there, and you're like, why are you here? You're famous.
Yeah, I'm like, Toni Collette, you're too good for this movie. But then again, this movie isn't bad. So I don't know what made
But
her
like
sign on.
when you act when you act opposite of Adam Scott, I'm like, and like yes, I know you're like Adam Scott's like getting nominations now. I'm like now, 2015, he was like known as comedy dude.
Oh yeah, because he was in Parks and Rec and shit like that. So yeah, But when, like you were saying, when Toni Collette is on screen with someone else and she's acting, she's leagues and miles above people.
I would say the only thing I would give Adam Scott a good rating on was his facial acting. He was good with his facials.
Yeah.
But like it's like him, and then you have the brother from National Lampoon's like vacation movies, and like he's a comedy guy.
Oh,
like,
100%.
I know him only for comedy. You have the maid from 2.5 Men as the aunt, comedy. Like everyone is comedy, and then you have like Toni Collette over here, just like she's like, I act.
The sister too, Aunt Linda, I believe, is also a comedy actor. But I've seen her face before. I just can't place her.
The cast is odd because it feels like this movie is going to be shitty, but you have a good cast though. Like even though they're comedy, they're still a good cast.
But it's interesting because this movie does have a lot of comedy aspects, and then there's horror, and then there's drama. So it's kind of like a smorgasbord of things.
It is. And then you have Seth Green, Robot Chicken, Justin Roiland, who just released like High on Life and Rick and Morty, as like voice actors for Gingerbread Cookies. And you're like, this has a lot. I think it's like when you look back as, okay, that can't be. There's no way.
What?
So I'm going to look this up. Wikipedia says Timothée Chalamet is Beth's boyfriend.
No, I don't think so. It did not look like him.
Way.
But anyways,
No way.
I'll keep talking about it. So, yeah, the retail scene happens. And then we're back in the house. They're getting ready for the family to come, to the house to stay for Christmas, and the dad is very distant from his family. He's always working. He takes a business phone call, so we see that kind of dynamic. The sister, Beth, doesn't want to be there because she's, all about her boyfriend, and she hates her family because she's a typical teenager, and the mom's kind of like losing it. But yeah, this just goes to show the dynamic of the family. And yeah, I know you're looking stuff up, but it's really hard to talk by myself.
I know, I got this. I can't find it. I can't find a full-on confirmation, and we can't just turn the movie back on.
Right.
If that is true, let's just say, even if it's not true, but if it is true, holy shit, where all this cast is in 7 years is insane.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That I wouldn't be surprised, but then I also would be surprised. That probably doesn't make sense.
It's just even if he's not there, this jump forward to 2022.
No,
and
it's a lie.
Look at the cast.
I just looked it up on IMDb. Derek is Leith Towers.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that.
Wikipedia.
Well, that is a lie.
Even then, look at the cast.
Yeah.
Who's here, and it's even the daughter, of Beth, she's been in good movies since this movie has come out. They all are doing well, and this movie was made for a 15 mil budget.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No.
For the cast they got and the practical effects they had.
Yes, I agree.
15 mil is really good.
Yeah.
Either way, we get a fight at a nativity play, I guess. Is what they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, we passed that.
And then we get back and we see how rich this family is. They have a TV in their kitchen.
That's the sign of wealth is a TV in the kitchen.
I have a question, Paige. How much Reynolds wrap do you think they can go through?
Oh, shut
and
up.
not have to worry. You open up their cabinet and they just have 7 boxes of Reynolds wrap, and you're like, oh, so rich. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about wasting any of it. They can wrap the entire bowl in Reynolds wrap and not have to worry.
And then what is it? Toni Collette's. I don't know what Toni Collette's actual name is in this movie. Sarah, sure. Her sister and her family arrive, and you hear them arrive. The house shakes from the Hummer.
Lucinda.
Yeah, Lucinda, the car, or the Hummer, excuse me. But yeah.
Also, can we just talk about Omi real quick, please?
Yes, I love Omi.
I love her. I love Omi.
She was amazing.
Saving grace of his family.
Yes.
She's like, we do Christmas. And at first she's like, oh, she loves Christmas. And now, like, later in the movie, they're like, oh, she's like, we do Christmas because I know what the fuck happens if we don't do Christmas. We die. Basically it. All right. The family comes, and we just cut to a good old, I hate family dinners. But, like, we cut to their family dinner. And it's, like, the perfect example why I hate family dinners.
Oh, yeah. I said it while this was happening. It was like, I'm so glad that I don't have to go through this because I'm kind of, geographically far from my, extended family. So I'm so glad I don't have to experience this on a regular basis all the time because this shit happens all the time. People argue, people get snippy, complain about the food.
Also, let's just talk about this real quick. The extended family's children, no thoughts.
Oh, not one single brain cell in any of them.
No thoughts, barely existence, but there is existence in this. We get some fighting. We get the brother-in-laws because, one's rich white man, one's redneck white man, and they're like culturally different.
Yeah.
Even though I will acknowledge, Sarah's sister not telling that the shitty aunt is coming, that's like the first way to piss a person off, is the family member you don't want to be there ends up being there.
Absolutely. And not just that, like, that's adding another plate, to the dinner that she prepared. Like, let's just say she didn't have enough food or whatever. But still, it's very rude. And
it's very rude.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, in that food that they brought in, like the son brought in, I was like, butter. It's butter. I know how much butter's in there because that's all butter.
I don't even know what it was. It looked like a casserole, but also macaroni and cheese that was burnt.
It was mac and cheese.
Okay.
It was mac and cheese. As a mac and cheese king, it was mac and cheese. And also the mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Classic.
Whole thing. Oh, God, I hate hot dogs.
Oh.
They're disgusting.
Wow.
I think it's because they gave me food poisoning once. So, I just go back to food poisoning.
I've gotten food poisoning from Pigs in a Blanket, which is mini hot dogs inside crescent rolls. And I'll never touch them again.
Once you have a food that gives you food poisoning, you're like, I'm never eating that variation of a food for as long as I live.
Absolutely.
Same thing with alcohol. If you have that one alcohol that takes you too far into the drunk territory, you're like, I can't smell it. I can't look at it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Either way, we get family fighting, and then let's just cut to where it gets good. He rips up his little Christmas letter.
Oh.
And Krampus is like, you done fucked up.
100%. But it was so mean and terrible that they read his Christmas letter out loud, especially with what it was about. It wasn't even like, I'm a good boy. He's just like, I wish my family was better than it actually is.
It's funny because it's like the tale of two worlds. Like for him, it's like it's mortifying. For me, it would just be like staring at everyone like, you hear the shit I wrote? Be better.
Well, it was like, what was it? Aunt Dorothy was like, yeah, he should get a prize because he spoke the truth. And I'm like, damn right, Dorothy.
I do like her because like she's an annoying character until these moments where she's like, he ain't wrong. And like the rest of the family's like, oh, how could he say such a thing about us?
It's like, I'm right.
He fucks up. He's like, I wish my family didn't exist. And Krampus is like, bet.
No worries. Wish came true.
Morning comes along. Boom. Welcome to Chili's. It's a blizzard. And I like how the kid's just like, there's a snowman outside. Just noting it. Who the fuck built that?
Also, I mean, that's fair. It's a creepy ass snowman too. So I would question that. Absolutely.
who built that, and then whose therapy is someone going to be paying for? Because I need to know who built that shit. And then Beth is like, my boyfriend isn't responding to my text messages.
It's like, yeah, there's no power. There's probably no cell towers working. Yeah, it makes sense. And she's like, no, this is unusual. And it's like, oh, okay. And her parents let her go in this blizzard.
False. Tony Collette's like, I don't think a boy's worth this shit. Like, you should probably stay home. And then Adam Scott's like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Sure.
Like, oh, she'll be right back. It's a blizzard. It's like, what, 20 degrees below. Has not stopped snowing. It's up to their thighs or knees. Like, it's insane. But anyways, yeah, Beth leaves.
But we also get honest. Okay, like every now and again, we talk about product placement. And I have to say, these Christmas movies have had some very odd product placement. Last movie, we had, like, mobile gas. Like, why the fuck is that in a movie? This movie, we had DHL.
I have a feeling... I mean, we live in the most southern state in the United States. I have a feeling maybe DHL is more popular up north.
I mean, I will acknowledge a lot of my packages, like, over the last year have been going DHL, and then they, like, hand it off to USPS.
Gotcha.
Like, DHL doesn't finish the job. They just, like, kind of...
They're the middleman.
they middleman it a lot. But, you know, she's like, I'm going to go see him. And as your words spoke true in this movie, no man is worth this.
That's literally what I said. Like, she's going through this blizzard, and I'm like, no man is worth this. Like, no, go back inside.
And then she gets chased by the Hulk assassin, also known as Krampus, as he, like, jumps on different rooftops.
It was frightening. Also, real quick, I couldn't tell if it was digital at this point, but the icicle and like frost effects on all of the houses in the neighborhood were really cool, and on the DHL truck later.
I would have to believe that outside the DHL truck, I think the DHL truck was probably real, but like if you're filming that in a town, and the movie was made for 15 mil, so there's no way they had enough to make like these sets. It all had to be digital.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really good.
Oh, it did.
And the lighting at this point, it gets a little bit darker when Beth sees Krampus. And then he just kind of like is hunched on the roof, and he just gets up really slowly, and you see his silhouette. I'm like, ooh, that's good shit.
I will say, Krampus gets more and more scary the more and more you see of him.
Yeah. I mean, the silhouette alone is pretty frightening, but you're right. The more detail you get, the more frightening it is.
And then we get an introduction to probably what is the creepiest, but probably has one of the most adorable moments of the movie, which is the clown in the Jack in the Box. We get like the brief introduction of him coming out of the box while she's hiding underneath the car. And I remember your first reaction was, nope, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, immediately.
You're like, I think originally you just thought creepy doll, and I was like, bitch, it's a creepy doll, but it's also another creepy thing.
Yeah, and I think maybe the worst part is, so Beth is under the DHL truck because she's running. Also, really good camera shots. You know, we do a nice little pan around. Throughout the whole movie, there's a few good shots that kind of really stick out. But the Jack in the Box pops open, nothing comes out, and I think the worst part is that it slowly crawls out of the box. You know, I don't know, for whatever reason, it was very unsettling.
Well, Jack in the Boxes are as creepy by proxy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They are like one of the most harmless creepy things that exist. Either way, I guess she gets eaten.
That's what I'm guessing. Because the Jack in the Box, well, it was a separate Jack in the Box. I guess there's multiple. I'm thinking she probably gets eaten, or maybe she gets eaten by the thing that gets people later on, like in the snow.
Yeah. When she doesn't return home, basically... By the way, they say 1 hour, and it's 7 fucking o'clock.
Yeah, because Max is like, it's dark now, and she's not back. And I'm like, how long has it been?
Because it looks like he awakened when she left. So that was probably like at latest 11 a.m.
Yeah.
1 p.m. should have been your cutoff, and it's 7.
So
Just saying. Either way, Adam Scott's character and the dude from National Lampoon go out together, and they're like, let's bond in Lucinda.
yeah, and this thing's a beast. It's a Hummer that's like completely tricked out. And then we see later on in the trunk, he has like a bed for his shotgun, his pump shotgun, and Linda's revolver.
That was the least surprising thing about that car, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
like the guns being in the car, I was like, yeah, that checks for this family. But we get them exploring. We get the gingerbread cookie stabbed on the
Fridge.
refrigerator. And I like how later in the movie you're like, they can't come alive. Like, they don't do that.
Well,
No.
I was like, no, they're not gonna do like creepy gingerbreads, right? I'm thinking
That's
elves, yeah,
ridiculous.
obviously, but not gingerbreads.
I will say, these movies' creatures, you're like, oh, it can't get creepier than the last one. And then the next one comes in, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to shut up because they get weirder
Yeah.
and creepier the more. And eventually we're like, oh, elves. You can't beat, like, the fucking, like, Banshee doll. And then they come in, and you're like, nope, they beat them. They're nightmares. Now, basically, this entire time, Grandma is like, the fire must burn. This fire must stay on at all times. And I just love how this entire movie, how our last movie was like, my dad died coming down the chimney. And now this entire movie's like, we can't let these bitches get down this chimney.
We have learned lessons.
Krampus ain't gonna be breaking that neck in this chimney. He gonna be breaking this chimney. Regardless, though, can we just... It's like the movie's very boring for a while. We get like a nice little moment, and they're like, oh, I thought you were the perfect sister. And then the other sister's like, do you know how many times I have to fuck that man? Which was like, that was like the whole runaround. Like, I have more children than you. And she's just like, he wants to fuck constantly. And I'm not for it all the time.
Well, the whole thing is it's about, family dynamic. You don't really always get I mean, Adam Scott said it to the kid before he tears up his letter. He's like, you don't always get along with your family, but you kind of have to. And this just goes to show that it's pretty hard, and there's a lot of misunderstanding.
True, but while the mom is very much like in that, like, teaches that lesson, Adam Scott's just so fucking passive. His character's such a fucking passive being.
To me, it's just Adam Scott himself. Like, I can never tell when he's playing a character.
Is he like Jeff Goldblum, where you're like, is he acting or is he Jeff Goldblum?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I feel like Jeff Goldblum stopped acting in like 93.
Oh,
and he was like,
God.
I'm just going to
Maybe.
get by. I mean, he acted in The Fly, which
Yeah.
we'll get to eventually.
Yeah.
And Jurassic. Okay. Jurassic Park was where like he was on the line of Jeff Goldblum and a character.
I was going to say, that's the most, peak.
And then we get to like Thor Ragnarok, and we're like, that's just Jeff Goldblum. That's literally Jeff Goldblum. Either way, snow monster is what I guess I'll call it, because we didn't really never see it, so it's just a snow monster.
Yeah. It's kind of like...
Starts to eat the brother-in-law.
Yes. To me, it's kind of like... Have you seen the movie Anaconda?
Yes.
It's like that, but in snow, to me.
That's the one with J-Lo, right? J-Lo's in that?
I think J-Lo's in that. It's
Okay.
not a good movie.
Well, there's Lake Placid, there's Anaconda, and like one of them has J-Lo in it.
I think it's Anaconda. But anyways, yeah, it starts gnawing on what's his name? Howard.
Oh God, that's a name. And you're right, his name is Howard.
Oh, okay.
Ew. Tom and Howard.
Tommy, he calls him Tommy. But and they get back, to the house, and those bite marks looked really painful. Like they were puncture marks. Not even like gnawing, just puncture.
And I like how the aunt's like, I'm gonna make peppermint schnapps while watching these children.
Like, yeah, that makes sense. I do the same thing.
And we walk into the tutorial. Like, it's like tutorial video time. Now mix the candy cane, because that's all the peppermint we have in this house, bitch.
That's the key, is mixing with the candy cane.
Either way, we get the whole chicken shabazz. And then we get... Okay, Tom's an idiot in this one. Because Howard's like, you go to sleep. Me, the guy who's bleeding out, will stay awake.
Yeah, I'm going to take the first watch. Like, trust me. He's like, oh, you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. You know. It's like, okay. Next scene, all out like a light. Plus...
It's a good smash cut.
It is. Plus,
awake.
the fire's out. Who? No. Someone's got to be up for that. No. They're all going to freeze to death.
And then... this is the moment where the gingerbread cookie comes down like it's Mission Impossible on a chain.
The chain's so cool, though.
It is.
The hook is really nice, and then they put bells on it. I'm like, ooh, I love it.
And this is the moment where you're like, the gingerbread can't be alive.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I was like, oh, this is just a ploy, right? Like, it's just to get the attention of the fat kid, because of course it is. And the fat kid wakes up because he smells the gingerbread cookie. I'm like... Oh, come on. It's 2015. We're still doing these stereotypes. Come on, man.
I feel like the stereotypes never ended until like 2017.
Maybe. But
possibly.
And then but the bite he takes into the gingerbread, that gingerbread looked really good and fluffy.
That gingerbread looked disgusting.
Oh, I don't like gingerbreads, but that looked like a yummy cookie.
That looked so mushy, it was disgusting.
But this is a really cool scene. I think this is really, really cool.
And then the gingerbread comes alive, and you're like, oh, I was right. It does happen.
But it's stop motion.
It is.
And it's really, really good. Really, really good. And they wrap up little Howie Jr. with the Jingle Bells chains and pull him right up the chimney.
And everyone tries to catch him. And this is the moment where you're like, God, Toni Collette's such a good actor.
She's just putting her all into this. And I'm like, damn, girl.
Because she sees the gingerbread cookie and she starts screaming.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is great facial acting. And I think I even noted it, but like out of everyone in the character, like every character in the movie, her character is the only one that goes through like a character change with her hair. Like her hair gets fucked by the time this is over.
The hair alone is acting. So it just sprinkles a little bit extra on her performance. But I do like her acting as well when they pull her out and she's against the wall and she's just absolutely fear-stricken. It's really, really good acting.
And then we get our story, which, okay, if you thought the stop motion of the gingerbread cookie was good, bitch, they were like, we are going to stop motion the shit out of these next 3 minutes. And we're going to do an animation, and it's going to be beautiful.
Oh my God, it was so good. So yeah, Grandma tells a story about what happened with her family and Krampus back in the day. And what's really cool is that her character, her little stop motion character, is very, dexterous and very, well made. And everyone else is the old school, like, shadow silhouette puppets. And that, it's just so good. I loved it.
It reminded me of a little bit, like in the style, like the character of the silhouettes, like the Candyman 2020 movie, where like they do the animation of what all the old ones were like.
Yes.
It kind of gave me that thing. She's like, I wish my family learned the true meaning of Christmas. And Krampus was like, I bet.
I got you, girl.
I'm going to kill them and I'm going to leave you a Christmas bell. Remember.
It was really cool because when the stop motion Krampus he's just a shadow and then he winks at her and leaves. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Oh.
But like this is one of those things where let's go back to Thanksgiving real quick and compare our animation moments. There's so much. I even think I made a joke during the movie where like Beth is underneath the car and I'm like, this is disheveled. She looks disheveled. See, you don't need your titties out to be disheveled. And then like this movie does the animation. I'm like, oh, like Thanksgiving, but with a budget.
But better. Also, I saw the poster at the end of the movie on Max's wall, or you saw it, and it was Robot Chicken. I was like, oh, cool. And I'm like, oh, wait, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe they're the ones that did the stop motion. They're pretty good at it.
They are. And then you know the Rick and Morty one.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that was the stop motion was so cool in this. Nice little surprise.
It was, and it's just one of those things where like usually we can like describe a scene in a movie and like it can kind of do it dignity enough. You just have to watch the stop motion because it's so good.
Oh, it's beautiful. The environment was great. I remember we were watching it, and I don't think either of us said anything. We just watched it because it was just so nice.
Yep. I mean, starting at this point, from this point until like the end of the movie, there's a lot of moments of silence, but this was the only moment of silence and awe. The next moments of silence are you processing what the fuck you're looking at. So let's cut to this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Aunt Dorothy has clogged up the toilet because she took a massive shit in it.
As she does. Apparently, they're not surprised at all. She did say Sarah's fancy food messes with her pipes. So we have continuity already.
So they're like, let's go upstairs. And then you hear the least realistic Beth, like, mock voice ever. And they go up there, and we cut. And then we get, like, this whole thing about a snowplow. Like, we're going to get to the snowplow.
Yeah.
The snowplow.
Yeah, I'm like,
snowplow.
okay, sure. Yeah, go into the broken down snowplow, and you're going to go to the mall, which is also an emergency center. And then you're going to go to the police station. I'm like, no, this is a stupid fucking plan.
Also, we should note, as the night goes on, more and more snowmen are just appearing at their front door.
Yeah.
Like, disheveled snowmen.
So, initially, I thought, and it might be true, I have no idea, the dead bodies of who Krampus and his little minions take become the snowmen. I think that would be pretty fucking cool. Also, we forgot to mention, they bring in, with the DHL delivery guy, there was presents
Box of
already
toys.
outside. They brought in a sack, like Santa's sack, and there's a bunch of presents in there, so they bring them
I
in.
don't think we should say it like that. People are gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Turn
Bag?
they brought in a bag of toys.
There we go. Excuse me. We don't need certain things to be edited.
Oh, baby behind
Yes,
you.
my cute little kitty. But yes, that's important because it's very Trojan horse of this movie.
Yep. We go upstairs. And they start looking around the attic. And eventually you get like a long snake. And you see the Jack in the Box. I just hit my mic. That's going to peak great in audio. You see a Jack in the Box and it snakes out. And the only thing is I don't even look at the scene because I know what happens. I'm looking at you reacting to this. And you go through a full array of emotions. You're like disgusted by what the fuck you're looking at, but also then that disgust turns into amazement because you're like, wow, that's disgusting. That's like genuinely gross.
It's disgusting, but it looks so good. And you know me, I hate clowns, so I'm already hating this with all of my passion and soul, but it looks too good to look away.
And it's like fleshy insides when it opens up its mouth and its teeth, and it's just disgusting.
And there was a lot of Alien reference,
Yes.
you know, with the little blah, 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 tongue with a bunch of the toys and stuff.
But it's eating a child. This thing is eating a child.
It's just, you know, head first, we'd see the little feetsies of the kid and nom 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 time, you know. Ugh.
And then it looks up at them and you're like, I like how Tony Collette's like, shoot it.
She's screaming. Please. She's like, shoot it, Tom. God damn it. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
Also, I think I made a note. So at this moment, Tom has a gun and Tony Collette's like, Linda's like, I'm going to grab a flashlight. And Tony Collette's like, I'm grabbing a fucking axe.
Yeah, she has a fucking full-blown axe.
And like they do this scene where they're all walking by each other. And I'm like, I'm more scared of Tony Collette with an axe than Adam Scott with a gun.
100%. Easily.
We then get, you know, they look for the child and they look up. And this next one's actually scary. It's like a banshee porcelain doll monster.
That's the
You were not having it with this one.
one that attacks Tony Collette.
Yes.
Okay. This one looked like an even creepier version of Chucky's wife from the Chucky movies. Tiffany, thank you. Yes.
Yep.
Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly.
But yeah, that thing was creepy as fuck. Oh god, I hated it.
And then eventually its tongue comes out, and you're like, no, please,
Put
not
it
the
back.
tongue.
Put it back.
It gets worse. This thing just constantly keeps getting worse. And then, like, the next one's like, and it's a little evil transformer. And you're like, that's so tame compared to the clown demon and the banshee porcelain doll.
And then the killer teddy bear. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. But can we get back to the porcelain doll? This is terrible.
And as this is happening, Howard's fighting the gingerbread cookies.
Oh my god. Okay, real quick. I think the scariest part is Toni Collette's character getting hung by Christmas lights from the porcelain doll. That's the worst thing. Adam Scott's getting stabbed in the back. Whatever. Who cares? And Linda's getting like attacked by the bear.
Bitten
Whatever.
in the arm by the bear.
Whatever. But that was scary. The gingerbreads. Can we talk about them? Please.
I love how the gingerbread cookies all have really well-known voice actors.
Yes.
Playing them.
Yes. And they look so fucking good. They have great emotion. They have great range. The mobility on them are really, really good. And it's really good stop motion because they blend well with the environment. It's not like you can see like, you know, an obvious green screen. They did really good editing with it. But I fucking love the gingerbread so much.
I have a little fun fact real quick.
Yes.
Adam Scott, David Kushner, which is Howard, and Toni Collette all joined the cast on the same day.
Oh, wow. That is a fun fact. Huh.
Yeah. Which, that's odd, because, like, those are the three most well-known. So, like, how did you get them all to sign on with, unless they were, I forgot what it is. There's penned and, basically, like, when you hand someone a script and you want them to come on, there's penned, which I forgot the two, but it's penned and something else. One says one's confirmed, one says it's, like, etched towards this actor.
I think the penned one is confirmed.
Okay. I only remember this because of our Lord and Savior. Jamie Lee Curtis did an interview where she was talking about Knives Out, and she was talking about like Daniel Craig was penned or something. Like it was either penned or the other one to be in the movie. She was like, "Okay, I'm in. If these people are in it, I'm confident to go in it."
Oh, that's really cool.
Either way, these gingerbreads, we love them. They're sweet babies.
I want a statue or like a stuffed animal or an ornament of these guys. They look so good. I can't get over it.
Do you want to know their names?
Oh, they have names? Yes,
Yep.
please.
Their three names are Lumpy, Dumpy, and Clumpy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm clumpy.
I'm Dumpy. Either way, though, they somehow get access to a nail gun.
Yeah, they're just firing at it, and they're having such a good time. I loved it.
And then they get set on fire.
Yes.
Great explosion scene, I will acknowledge.
Yeah.
Fantastic explosion scene. And then the last one. So, Howard kills two of them.
Yeah.
One burns to death, the other one gets shotgunned. The final one gets eaten by the dog that you always forget exists.
Yeah, I had no idea they had Rosie until maybe like a half an hour, 40 minutes into the movie.
I think it's because when the Rosie comes in, it's such a quick, like, she walks into the scene, walks out of the scene, you're like, oh, okay, there's a dog. Cool. As that's happening, people are fighting. And, Linda is the name? It's Linda, right?
Of the sister, yeah.
Yeah. She sees Stevie, like, on the ground. She's like, I'm going to be a bad bitch for, like, 5 seconds. And she gets the axe. She doesn't kill anything, really. It's left to Toni Collette and Aunt Dorothy to kill her leftovers.
Yeah.
But she stabs the bear in the eye, and all I remember is your reaction was, "Oh, it's green."
Yeah, she uses an icicle. I'm like, okay, cool. And then like the goo inside comes out of the eye. I'm like, oh no. Mm-mm.
And then she like axes the evil transformer.
Yeah. Cuts the rope so Toni Collette doesn't, get choked to death.
And then the clown escapes through the vents.
Yes. Yeah. And it's fucking huge, the clown. Because it has at least one body in it. It might have another body.
Yes.
I don't know.
They all escape down the stairs. Basically, that's all that happens is like they're like, "Are we okay?" I mean, Toni Collette grabs the pistol and shoots the evil transformer.
Yeah.
And we're like, "See, effective with a gun. She has effectiveness." And we get down the stairs, and there's like, literally this is. I feel like this is like only 5 minutes of the movie. It's a shit show of characters appearing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like evil monsters appearing. The bear comes back. I will say probably the funny. I don't know why I laughed, but the evil porcelain banshee doll just like smash cutting and attacking Howard had to be one of the funniest scenes because of just how random it was.
Yeah.
Aunt Dorothy though is badass, so she kills a teddy bear. I just found the name is the cherub. It's a cherub.
What is?
The banshee doll.
Oh, the porcelain doll. Okay.
Yeah, it's a cherub.
Sure.
Gets thrown into the air. It gets shot. They send Rosie into the vents to try and kill this Jack-in-the-Box character, and I'm like, that's not how this works.
Also, those vents go vertically up the wall. I'm like, this dog is not Spider-Man. It's not gonna crawl up walls. It does, I guess, get a little bit of the Jack-in-the-Box, but Rosie definitely dies. So the dog dies. So just letting you guys know, it's not on screen, but you hear it.
R.I.P. in peace, Rosie.
Yeah, and then the Jack-in-the-Box falls through the roof, right?
He falls through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he falls on the ground, and he looks up and just looks at people.
He's just and he has hands, his little hands. It's disgusting.
He's looking. He's not even attacking them. He's just like, "Hi." Was not anticipating this happening. And then this is the exact moment where the cherub like jumps out and starts attacking people. We get the whole thing. And then we get, okay, this Jack-in-the-Box is creepy. However, I will acknowledge this was adorable.
Oh.
Where you hear the whistling and the clown just starts clapping like ever so happily, like, yay, he's here.
I think the worst part is it wasn't like a, I don't know, like a statue or something. Like it was actual human hands. Like it was someone was in the puppet doing it. And I was like, oh, it's worse. It's worse.
I loved it. I was like, I think it's because of the face and how like doofy the face looked with it clapping. It looked the clown looked so excited that what was about to happen was about to happen.
No, I agree. It did actually look adorable, which is crazy to say.
And then I forgot who says that. I think it's Omi who says it. She's like, elves.
Yes. Yeah, she says elves.
And you're like, at some point in the movie, you were like, okay, so when did the elves come in? Are the evil elves, like, are there? And then they come in, and you're like, it's like, it can't be worse than the clown. Like, it genuinely can't be worse than the clown and the porcelain doll. Those things are fucking terrifying.
I was thinking the elves were going to be tiny, you know, like child size and annoying. But, stop it. Sorry, the cat is causing havoc. But no, it's worse. Can you not with the couch? Okay, sorry.
They come in, and you're like, Jesus Christ, these elves are crazy. And then one of them has a tongue.
Oh, God, which means all of them have a tongue. Also, let's talk about it real quick. The costuming for the elves, so good. Everyone has different masks. They all look fantastic. Ugh.
My favorite one was the one that was like kind of based off like a plague doctor, but it had like kind of the plague
that was
mask
a cool
on
one.
it.
I think my favorite was the one that I think at the end that took the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one was my favorite mask. I can't remember.
But see, like, that shows how good these characters are. Where we can like they're like hoarded together. They don't talk. You don't get a lot of time with them, but we can both point out our favorite elf.
Yes.
They take the baby. They take the aunt. They take Stevie. I believe they take with them too.
No, Stevie's No.
You're right. You're right.
No,
No, they
no.
take the baby. They take the aunt. They take Howard.
Yeah, Howard like rides the the Jack in the Box. Oh, because they tie the Jack in the Box to the chains and then yank it out
The
the
Jack in the
window.
Box is so happy right
Oh
now.
yeah,
He's like,
yay!
I did my job.
So yeah, they take a lot of the family, honestly.
By the way, this is the moment where like the next like 8 minutes, everyone drops like flies.
Which was crazy to me. I see. This is the problem I have with horror films is they always seem to bunch up the deaths for whatever reason. Like you get maybe one or two in the beginning, maybe another one in the middle, and then at the end they're like, "Fuck yeah, we got to kill everybody. We forgot about them." And then it's like boom, 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 boom.
And it's not even like I would get it if you had a lot of story and then like, it's just, everything's happening due to story, but like the story doesn't even need half these characters alive.
Right.
Either way, Krampus, they're like, we got to go to the snowplow. They are fixated on this fucking snowplow.
I'm like, okay, guys, yeah, I get it. We got to change the scene. We can't just stay in the house. I get it.
But I'm like, a snowplow. Hey, have you seen Krampus's parkour skills? A snowplow ain't gonna get you away from this dude. Also, can we just talk about one scene quickly?
Sure.
It was a little bit earlier in the movie. It brought up a critique you had where you're like, why is it that every house they somehow have like so much lumber to board up a window?
Yes. Okay. So that's another thing that I always have like a little pet peeve with, especially like zombie movies or whatever. Houses that they board up. Okay, cool. You boarded it up. They have so much plywood on hand. Who has that much plywood on hand?
That was a shitload of ply. See, if this was Howard's house, I'd been like, I believe it.
Absolutely.
Like, this checks for Howard.
Absolutely.
But this is like Tom and Sarah's house, and I'm like, you people too white. You're like two upper class white people for this.
See, I think it would have made more sense if we saw things in the house quote unquote, boarding up the windows. Like if they took the dining table or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, a closet, like a movable closet or like an end table. Stuff like that. Not actual plywood.
And then also, I think you also brought it up earlier. They were like, how do they have this many logs?
Yeah. Well, okay. I kind of get it. It's Ohio. They're, it's cold and shit. Yeah, I get it. But whatever. Anyways.
Omi is going through these logs like they're a bag of Doritos.
She really is.
I would get it. Like, oh, yeah, I get it. But I'm like, she's going through this shit. And she's like, she has no management skills. She's just like more flame.
Yeah.
More
Just
fire.
like, we got to go through it.
But there's this scene where Max looks out the window with his binoculars, and you see Krampus on one of the roofs, just like hunched over, looking at you. And I'm like, I like that. I like that scene a lot.
I like it too.
I love how the movie isn't necessarily afraid to show you Krampus. They just don't want to show you the details of Krampus until it's time. So by the time we get to what we're about to get to, was he comes through the chimney and all that stuff, I'm already scared of him. And it's so much because I think all these monsters are terrifying creatures.
Absolutely. So it's just like, what the fuck does their boss look like?
I know. It's like, dude, they answer to somebody, and like, I like how they hear the whistle, and everyone, like, all the elves are like, okay, that's our cue to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And they leave, and they're like, we're going to go to the snowplow. And Grandma's like, nah, not me.
I'm going to sacrifice myself. So she locks herself in the house, and she's looking at the chimney. And then Krampus does his thing.
The way this dude comes down.
Oh, my God.
Like, literally, they could have done something simple where he just jumps down. You see his little hoofs, and they're like, boom. But no, this dude, if you brought up Alien before, this is the most alien shit.
Absolutely. And I think what's really cool, like you said, they could have just did something really quick. It's one of those little things in the movie that emphasizes how big Krampus is. Like, he's enormous. He's always hunched over or whatever, so you don't really see his full height. Even when he faces off against Omi, he's not at his full height. He's still hunched over. But it was a nice little detail that they did, cracking in the wall while he comes down the chimney.
and then like his two hands come out and like grip onto the chimney,
Ugh.
and he slowly works his way out.
And then
I was
he
just like,
ducks his
oh.
head because of the horns. He ducks his head to get out, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
And then we get the face, and holy shit, this face.
Yeah.
So, okay, Krampus is a Yule goat, just to let you know. He is technically, like, he's based off of a Yule goat.
Yeah. Yeah, he has hooves. He's bipedal, so he has two hooves, and the horns and everything like that.
Yep.
But like you were saying, the face, it looks like
He's a goat man.
Yeah, it looks like a mask over a
Yes.
face.
He looks like he's wearing flesh.
Correct.
Like he's wearing a Santa flesh over his face.
Correct.
Because the eyes are torn. Like the eyes, like when he blinks, the eyes don't move. And they're obviously goat eyes, of course.
Yeah.
But the fucking mouth.
Yes.
And how it doesn't move. It's just perpetually in like this like forced open state.
Right,
It's terrifying.
Which emphasizes that it is a mask. That's not his
Yeah.
face. I don't know if that was... It was probably intentional with the design. It looks like they put a lot of effort into the design of Krampus, which I can appreciate that.
It was... When we go Season of the Monster, here's the fucking monster.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
all these other things were monsters, but this dude is... When you see him, you're like, oh, I get why he's the boss.
Yeah.
I get why all these things follow him.
Yeah, I
now.
get why I'm supposed to be scared of him, 100%.
And then he opens up his bag of toys, and the toys attack him.
Yeah, the
Attack
toy,
Omi,
yeah,
sorry.
the toys attack Omi, and I'm like, oh, that is depressing. So it doesn't seem like he really does the killing. He just does the killing through his little minions for the most part.
He's like, listen, I'm here to teach lessons about Christmas, not kill.
Yeah.
I don't kill. I teach lessons. We then get what is probably, I feel like it's like 3 minutes long, but they kill off all the remaining characters in like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, from the snow snake.
We then get, they get killed by a snow snake. It's really boring.
It's
too.
very-
It's not even like I can sit here and describe it.
Yeah,
It's
so
just they die.
Adam Scott, Toni Collette, and Aunt Linda, boom, 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 get taken down by this snow snake, which is depressing. I feel like it could have been a little bit better. I don't know. This is what I was talking about with rushed deaths, and it bugs me.
Part of me does wonder, was this intentional or was this constraints?
Good point. I would lean towards constraints, but who knows?
We then get the elves attacking the car, and I'm like, oh, God, these things. These are the things I don't want attacking the car. They're nightmare fuel. They take Stevie, and they go to, like, what I call Krampus's bonfire.
Yeah, it's
He's
like a
having a
little
nice little
party
bonfire
area.
party.
Yeah.
Well, at first, Krampus is like, here's the lesson, bitch. You ripped the letter up. Live with that.
Yeah.
And then, Max goes, and Max is like, I can sacrifice myself. And, like, because it's Christmas. And I'm like, I don't think this is how Krampus rolls. I think he's made a decision. The decision has been made.
I think it was cool, though, when Krampus pops in front of Max and gives him his letter with the ornament wrapped in it.
Yep.
I liked that. That was really cool.
And then also you see his fingers, and you're like, ew, even your fingers are gross. We then get to our nice little bonfire rave session we're having, and we have what is my favorite monsters, which are the Yule Goat reindeers.
Oh, God. They were frightening.
I loved them. And like how like something cool happens and they bash heads together, like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like,
love
oh,
them.
that was cool. Haha. Really, really good puppets right there.
I love them. They kill Stevie. They kill the baby, I believe. I think they dropped the baby.
Probably. I don't know. But yeah, Max is like, take me instead. And then Krampus is like, you're supposed to think he's reconsidering because Max is like, you can fix this. Like, you can change everything. And Krampus like takes his disgusting little nail and gets Max's little tear and looks at it. And then he starts laughing. And then everyone starts laughing. And I'm like, ooh, cruel.
And this is where I think this is the moment where the Yule Goats ram their heads together.
Yeah. Like, boy, we sure got that kid.
And then they drop him in, and we wake up the next day, and it's Christmas, which is odd because technically this all happened on the 23rd.
No, it happened on the 24th.
But when he opens up the thing, it's the 23rd. The 24th hasn't been opened yet.
No, he did.
Okay, I swear it was the 23rd.
No, it was the 24th. And when he opens the last one, it's the 25th because it's Christmas.
Yeah. I must have looked away when he was opening up the 24th because I know he opens up the 22nd and then he opens up the 23rd. And then the 23rd is where all that shit happens.
Yeah, no. It was the 24th.
Yeah. And we get like our whole little, it's Christmas. Yeah.
The family's nice to each other. Oh, everyone's here and alive. Oh, they're opening presents and everything.
One of them got a pair of brass knucks.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
And then we get the Krampus, Max opens up. Oh, first of all, Tony Collette gets a taxidermied whatever the fuck that thing is.
I'm guessing it was Howard. He
was
has a
Howard.
taxidermy hobby.
That thing was terrifying.
It was.
I was just like, that's the definition of a present where you're like, okay, are they coming to visit? Put it up. and you're like, yeah, keep it up all year. We love it. And then they leave and like put that shit in the attic.
Lock it away.
Out of here. Make sure you put the curtain on top of it, and then you put the other curtain on top of the other curtain. He opens up the present, and we have Max being like, "Oh, it wasn't." Everyone's realizing it wasn't a dream. Everyone's like remembering what happened.
Again, really good facial acting by Toni Collette because she notices first, and her face just drops, and it's so fucking good.
And then, okay, so I have a question. Now let's do this. What does the ending mean to you? What did you get out of that ending? Because the ending does actually have an explanation that's explained outside of the movie.
Oh, okay. So real quick, it was what we see is we kind of pan out of the house, and everyone is in a snow globe, and it looks like there's more houses that have been, put together in these snow globes in Santa's workshop. And to me, I think they're stuck there forever. I think it's kind of like a Groundhog Day hell, where maybe they recognize it, but maybe every day it resets and then they experience Christmas all the time. I don't know. That's pretty much all I got from it. Well, what's the actual explanation?
Let me tell you. That's what a lot of people thought, and guess what? You're wrong.
Okay, where are we getting this from? Is this from the fucking director?
No, it's from a comic book, I believe, that happened
Okay,
after
go
the
ahead.
movie. So like it's canon. Those globes don't keep people trapped. Those globes are the way Krampus like keeps track of people to see if they ever lose the Christmas spirit again. And then if they do, he comes and actually kills them. So basically everybody in that globe are people he taught lessons to and are watching to see if they learned their lesson, and then if they didn't, he goes back.
He sees you when you're sleeping.
You're sleeping.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
So that's what those globes are actually supposed to represent.
That's cool. I mean, I thought my other idea was really cool too. I thought it was really awesome, but ooh, I like it.
Because a lot of people actually believed yours.
Yeah.
When the movie came out, that's what a lot of people took out of the ending, and then they did a comic book like a little bit after, and it explained that they're not stuck in a limbo. He literally watches people.
Okay,
and if they go awry, then he comes back, and then there's like no mercy. This is like his one mercy moment.
I understand. Okay, because it was very dreamlike when they were showing everything, like the Christmas morning and everything. The effect on the camera was very dreamlike, so that's what I took from it.
I think the way technically it is dreamlike, but you can also deem it as you're viewing Krampus looking through the globe, because the globe is very foggy. But you also see that it is dreamlike until people start to realize, oh wait, what happened actually happened, and then the dream like kind of goes away and we get like normal camera shots again. So I think it was just like maybe a thing of they were living in a bliss long enough, and then the bliss was broken when they realized whatever happened wasn't a dream.
Gotcha. Okay.
But and then we get one less jump scare of all the toys and the elves.
Yeah.
Coming at
I was
you.
like, oh, okay. It was a very Muppets moment.
I love it. I will acknowledge that in his bag of toys, there was a nutcracker, and I'm like, oh, why was the nutcracker in the movie?
Oh,
That's
I know.
A scary
It looked really
being.
creepy.
That's like, I feel like that should have replaced the weird Transformers thing.
Yeah, I agree. Because it still chomps. you know? So
That Transformer did not need to be in the movie. He was like the odd one out.
I agree, because these were
all
all
the
like kind of
toys.
classic-y type of, Christmas things. And then you had the Transformer. I was like, could have did without.
We ran out of ideas, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Ran out of ideas, ran out of budget. Which one was it? But that was Krampus.
Yes, it was.
That was Cram Cram.
Yeah.
I will ask, best monster of the season so far?
Easily. I mean, we've only done 3 movies in total, but yes, so far, hands down, this is the best one.
I can see him probably being top 3 by the time the season's over, because he's
gorgeous.
He's up there.
Absolutely
as
gorgeous.
A scary son of a bitch.
Yeah.
However, you know what? Let's just do the rounds up right here.
Oh, okay.
Because I think we've already explained what we liked about it.
Okay.
And, like, about the movie.
Yeah. You want me to go?
I'll let you go first,
Okay.
because I have a feeling I know how you're going to rate this, and I think we're going to agree on this
Okay. I really liked this movie. There was some issues, obviously, with it, with some maybe story pacing, and the very quick deaths and everything. The music was really good. We got some really creepy Christmas music, instrumental and otherwise. Really cool camera shots here and there that were very noticeable in a good way. Acting, Toni Collette, boom, amazing. Everyone else was fine too. The practical effects were amazing. Also, the hole to hell was really cool at the end of it. Yeah, the practicals were amazing. The costuming was really good. Stop motion really good. Do I give my rating?
Yeah, give it to me.
I'm going to give an 8, baby. I'm going to give an 8.
I'm going to give it a 6.
Why?
I give the effects a 10 out of 10.
Oh, easily.
I just think the story sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, if the story sucks and the effects are great, they have to even each other out, so it's kind of like a 6.
Okay.
However, it's a fine 6. It's an enjoyable 6. This is a movie that, as much as I would like to, I don't think I can watch it on a constant basis.
I don't think I will either, but I'll remember it. That's for sure.
Oh, it's memorable, but I would save like the 8s and the 9s and the 10s to movies I can watch.
Okay.
So kind of like how like I can watch Gremlins whenever the hell I want. I love Gremlins. So I gave it like an 8. I can't watch this whenever I want. Like, I can probably watch it every few years, but not whenever I want. So hence it's like a 6.
To me, when I give a high rating, it's more about in that moment enjoyability. Like, how much did I come out really liking this movie? And this one I did genuinely enjoy. I think it definitely has to do with the practicals and the overall feel of the movie. Again, not so much the plot, but yeah.
Because it sucks.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll acknowledge that. That's for sure.
It's not a Gremlins level plot.
No. So are we doing a haunt?
I will let... Okay, so here's the deal. If we don't do a haunt, we have to do... So, up next, everybody. We're doing Hellraiser. 5 Hellraiser movies. Sorry, 5 Hellraiser movies. 10 whole weeks. With nothing but dudes with pins in his head. By the way, that movie's about to make history. I'll acknowledge. That movie's going to make history for us.
Okay.
In a sea of titties, we gonna get a dick.
Okay. All right.
Our first movie in a haunt dick. However, if we don't do a haunt for this one, outside of the end haunt for Hellraiser, we have to do an individual haunt for every Hellraiser.
All right,
movie.
let's do a haunt for Krampus. So we'll be right back. All right, here is our haunt for Krampus. I'm just going to bring the vibes per usual. I want to be in a sleigh, and I want creepy Christmas music as we're going through. I want the little toys either popping out and scaring us and coming to get us, and then, Krampus in the background maybe following us and whatever, and we get silhouettes and whatever, all that stuff. And then at the end, Krampus kills us. And that's it.
All right.
I just want those simple vibes. Give it to me.
I will let you have the snow, the sleigh. I'll let you.
Thank
have
you.
The sleigh. Because when we're going to this house, we're gonna a sleigh. Oh, waka waka. We begin as going into the facade. That is a Home Depot.
Oh, God.
The first room, we take over the role as a retail worker.
I don't need to relive that. Thank you very much.
And we're going to have people running by us, giving us anxiety. That's right. These first few rooms, they're not scary because the jump scares. They're scary because they're anxiety driven. We exit. We get to the house. But this house isn't bad yet. All we hear is family fighting. Anxiety. And you have to sit through an entire family fight. I hope your therapist is ready. All right. Next room, we're in the attic. And it's clown time.
Oh, okay.
It's clown time because I just love the clown. For rooms 4, 5, and 6, we go through the house and we have different jump scares of different toys. Whichever order we want.
Okay.
I don't
That's
care.
fair.
Room number 7, we're in the living room. Everything goes silent and we get attacked by the elves. And they just swarm the cart.
Ooh, yes.
Just swarming it. Grr. You hear whistles and the elves run away. And all you see is hands coming out of the chimney. Goat hands. You yeet yourself outside that fucking house. Because you're like, I'm not dealing with this shit. We then just race through the town with Krampus jumping on houses, following us. Snake Man making the cart rumble because he's like, I want that cart, bitch. We end up at our favorite Christmas rave.
Oh.
Elves are partying. Our Yule goats are fucking nodding heads. Just boom. Krampus scares us, and we fall down the hole. Creepy. We go back to the original house. All is well. It's nice. It's dreamy, some would say. We exit the room, and we end up in the workshop, seeing all of the globes. And we get one last toy jump scare as we leave Krampus's house.
I like it.
Now, I should acknowledge that Halloween Horror Nights did a house in 2016, so if there's any overlap, this was one of the years I missed, so, like, this is pure chance, and I wouldn't be shocked if there's overlap, because a lot of these rooms just write themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But that's my house. We have the vibes.
We do have the vibes. The vibes are there. It's pretty much what I asked for. And it sounds good. I like it.
Technically, we die.
That's fine.
Technically, we die.
That's
but
fine.
Then we come back at the end.
We all
and we're
die.
Like,
It's fine.
Krampus is like, I'm watching you, bitch. And you're like, ugh, goat man, gross.
But yes, so that was our haunt for Krampus. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. And
Happy New Year's, since we're not going to be around for
Happy New Year's. Make it a good one and make it a safe one. And we will be back in the new year with a lot of fucking Hellraiser. So please be prepared.
But not quite.
Why?
Don't you remember?
Oh, yes. We have an announcement.
Okay, finally.
Holy crap, I forgot.
God.
Okay, so great news. We had our double feature back last year in January with Candyman. The audio got effed. So we were able to save the first half, which was our favorite, of the 1992 Candyman. We will be releasing that for the holidays. Please, the sound quality might not be the best, but it's something, and we hope you enjoy. So please stick around for that, and then join us in the new year for our little Hellraiser stint.
So, for those of you at home that are interested in this, because I know the schedule, how we're going to go, this movie is out. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed Krampus. Up next is our release of Werewolf by Night, followed by Candyman, followed by Hellraiser.
Yes, and then at this point, we will be on track with YouTube and Spotify. Hellraisers will be releasing at the same time, so we'll all be on track. So please join us for that. And again, be safe, have a great one, and catch you next time.
See you in the new year.
Right? Bye.
Bye.
5 innocent people killed, not a sign of a